I am so excited about this upcoming chat. This man has been around the world of martial arts for a very long time. He comes from the first family of martial arts. And on December 12th, this Friday, he will be competing in his first fight in about a year. It's Victory Fighting League, The Road to Redemption, December 12th, Terminal 5, New York City. Tickets available right now on access.com. That's AXS.com. You can get the pay-per-view via Meethhook, that's meethook.live/VFL. It's the return of Ice Cream Kron Gracie going up against Tom Picciano, and the one and only, the inimitable, the enigma, Kron Gracie is here with us in studio right here and now. Is he there? Yes, there he is. What's up, Kron? How are you, my man?
Good, how are you?
It's good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please have a seat. It's a little toasty in here because it's
Yeah.
cold out there, so feel free to get comfortable.
Oh, good.
How do you feel about this cold? It's brutal, right?
I'm used to it.
You're used to it because now you live in Montana, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind coming up to the mic, and maybe I'll move your jacket there just because the visual. Here, I'll put it somewhere for you. I'll put it somewhere. I don't want to put it on the ground.
There's a lot of artifacts here you don't want to put it on.
No, yeah. Here, I'll put it right over here. All right. Okay, so it's great to have you, my man. And really, I was excited when they told me that there was a possibility of you coming in. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if you were going to come in because I know you don't maybe love doing the media stuff. Would that be fair?
I feel like there's a lot of other things to do, before a fight. But
Sure.
I'm here. I love it.
Does it feel like
I appreciate you.
Okay.
You're great to the sport.
Okay, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. By the way, why Montana? Why do you live in Montana now?
So when the pandemic happened, my gym got shut down. And then
In California?
California.
Yeah.
And then I went to Montana. I had a friend there. And then I had a gym open over there. And I was like, oh, over here, they opened up real quickly. So I was able to have a gym. I was able to kind of go out and eat and go do things, and it wasn't really locked down. Is this close enough?
No, it's not. Actually, they're going to get mad at me. Yeah. Just if you can make love to the microphone, as they say in the business. So you chose Montana. Why? Just if you could talk into it. Yes.
Yeah.
Why Montana?
Well, I had a friend who lived there at the time and who went there too. So I was like, it just was like the first place I could go.
Okay. And how is it?
It's cool. Yeah, it's cold. Definitely colder than here. So
Yeah.
this is not that cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And for a guy who grew up in California, was it a big culture change?
Yeah. But at the time, I was like really excited about it, because it was the first time I got to live in a place that was mountains and cold and had the whole rocky feel, training in the mountains. And I think it still is like a very precious thing to me where I like a lot of things about it. But as the years go on and as everything opened up, I don't have the same training and the same like support and the people around me like I did in LA. So that's why for the last 4 or 5 months I've been in LA.
Okay. Oh, so you went back?
Just for this camp.
Okay.
Just for training, yeah. Just training, and just easier to do my workouts, easier to find people to do stuff with. So.
Do you think there'll ever be a time where you move back?
I don't know about moving back, but definitely spend more time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time we saw you in action was a year ago, and I want to talk about this opportunity, but why was it so long in between fights for you?
Well, that was kind of not up to me. I was trying to get a fight really like right back. I called UFC right after, and everything when I was talking was kind of really, positive, in a sense. And it just went on, time went on, and I never got a for sure answer. I never got a for sure nothing, but it seemed like they were seemed positive about me having a fight. And then it kind of took a little longer time. So I got a manager, he spoke for me, and then that's what kind of sealed the deal that we were going to go our separate ways.
Okay, so your contract expired, right?
Contract expired.
Did you want to stay?
I wanted to say, yeah.
And did they give you a reason why they didn't, work to get you back in?
Well, that's the part that I don't really know for sure because it wasn't me speaking. It was at that point, it was my manager speaking, the guy I had at the time who spoke for the UFC for me. Because I was kind of like, all right, let's. I didn't want to be the one to pressure them, so I told this guy to be my manager and handle the situation. And then it just happened that way where before you know it, we were going our separate ways. So it wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but I understand, and we can move forward from this.
Was it a bummer?
I mean, to be honest, I wanted to fight right away. I never wanted to fight so fast after a fight ever in my life. So I was like, I felt like I made a bad fight. I made a mistake, and I was so close, in so many different ways, fighting a really good guy, a top 15 guy. And after the fight, I was like, man, I just made a simple mistake that I could fix like that. And like after every fight, I kind of already know what I should have done better. It doesn't take like a whole bunch of time or team to tell you like, oh, you made a mistake, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's pretty simple. Like you see it right away as me as an athlete. Every fight I win or lose, I kind of can see what I made a mistake on. And it was a bummer to not just be able to get right back in and show that I'm a lot better than that, because that performance was weak,
What was the mistake?
Well, the technical mistake was when Bryce was coming in both hands under. When I pulled guard, he couldn't elbow me, or he couldn't really slam me because both hands were under. And then when he came in on the last round, he came in with one arm over, and I pulled guard the same way, and that's when he was able to slam me. But not that I'm going to try to pull guard again or anything, but that was one mistake. Not fighting for... So Bryce was a really, really good wrestler, and I was always trying to stand up with him, and I was trying to box him. And then every time I'd land some shots, he would clinch, and then I would not want to get thrown down and let him land in a better position, so I would pull guard. But it was not really like my incentive to like pull guard and like do that. Kind of like what I did with Jourdain, it was a bigger mistake because I was like incentivizing the pulling guard. But with Bryce, it wasn't really that at all. I wasn't really trying to go to the ground with Bryce. But he clinched me, and I didn't want to end up in a bad position, so I didn't really fight the takedown or anything. I just pulled guard, which also was a mistake. So either way, pulling guard is going to be...
It's gone?
It's gone,
A lot of people don't pull guard in MMA, right? It's not a thing anymore. It's obviously more of a jiu-jitsu technique.
Yeah, I feel like I'm comfortable there, and a lot of people aren't, and that's why I can resort to it, and I feel really good. I don't take damage, and I can get a lot of things from there. It sucks that the 5-minute rounds doesn't always, when you look over, sometimes there's like 30 seconds left. It's like you don't have enough time, and that's just the adjustment that I need to make as a fighter. Like you need to make the fight more progressive to get on top, and you need to fight with the time. So instead of like in my mind thinking about no time and what happens when things happen with more than 5 minutes, it doesn't exist. When it's less than 5 minutes, or when it's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. You could be building up something for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then right when you're about to get something, time is up. So the time it takes to cook a little bit is a little bit longer. And I understand that. And so, I think the pulling guard thing is something I was kind of relying on it too much and like feeling comfortable about it in training and having success in training, but I didn't get to test it on the highest level with the best guys. And it's an easy fix, I don't need to pull guard. If the guy throws me down or whatever, or if we get there, we're there. But like, I have more tools to offer than that,
Feels like there's a negative connotation attached to pulling guard. Like the fans view it as like a weak move, like almost like a cop-out. In jiu-jitsu, you don't view it that way, but in MMA, it is viewed that way. And I feel like that was the emotional reaction to your performance in that fight. Is that accurate in your opinion? Do you feel that way, and is that fair?
I feel like there's pulling guard. One, grappling in general is already looked down on in the UFC. Even when I seen people like in a good position, if it's nothing happening, people are booing. Even if you get a submission within 1 minute, sometimes you guys, that one guy who got Emmett in the arm lock, he got it real quick. People were like booing that he got him in a submission real quick. Like took him down, submitted him real quick. People are booing. So I think jiu-jitsu in general is like not as appealing to the UFC audience as much as striking and wrestling. But I think when it comes to pulling guard, for me at that time, it was kind of like well, you're going to take me down anyways. Why not end up in a better position for me than let you a little bit half guard or a little bit past my guard or on my back, something that is going to be worse. So since I felt like Bryce specifically was a good wrestler and he was going to probably get me down anyways, I was like, all right, let's just go here where But I feel like now, knowing that the fan base doesn't like that at all, I can fight. I'm a black belt in judo. I can fight it and try to throw and try to open things up a little bit more,
So there's a fine line there, because you're saying, okay, the fan base doesn't like it, but still, this is your bread and butter. And so how do you make the distinction of
when money's involved? That's when you make the difference.
Okay, that's fair.
And when I can't get a fight, I never thought that.
Do you think that that's what happened, that no one wanted to be in business with you after that?
I think so. I think not no one wanted to be in business, but I think that the fans kind of were.
They turn on you.
But that's the fans. But I think that it's hard to like sell something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're trying to sell. Everyone's trying to make money. Everybody's trying to sell a business. So it's just what it is, And the same way you lose fans, you gain fans. And one day you could have them, you can't. So I'm not like, I know my skills are up to date. I know I can perform really well at the highest level. I just need to, package it up and put it on the skills on the table,
For that to be your last performance and have this layoff, even though you wanted to fight right away, has it been a frustrating year for you, because you probably wanted to erase the memory of that and have something on top of it, right?
Yeah, but that's life. Life is all about ups and downs and how you deal with what's happening, Like, it's always a challenge. Even when you're winning, it's a challenge, what happens around you. And, that's a part of, like, me always competing since I was a kid. There's always, like, a wave of things happening. So I don't look at anything and, like, let it get me too down or let it get me too up. So if I win... Like when I won my first fight in the UFC, everybody was coming up to me like, "Wow, you're the best thing ever!" Like everybody in the world was like, I was like, "Whoa, guys, relax! It's my first fight in the UFC. Can you guys like take a break? Like we haven't even seen what's gonna happen." Because I know at that time I only had 5 fights, so I know I need more experience. I know I need more training. And then the same thing, you lose 1 or 2 times, people think you suck, and it's not either, So. Even though the fans might have ups and downs with me, I don't have ups and downs with me.
Okay.
I know where I stand in the world with training, with martial arts, with the people I'm fighting with in the gym. Anybody who trains with me knows what I'm bringing to the table. If I was getting beat up in the gym or was losing traction in any sort of a way, then I would be like, okay, but that's not happening,
You still love it?
Yeah, I love training. I love fighting, what fighting brings, and it's healthy, It's a healthy lifestyle, so yeah.
How did you end up with VFL?
Well, they contacted me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you know anything about them when they did?
No.
So they've had 2 events. This will be their 3rd, and they seem like they're kind of thinking, a little bit off the beaten path, doing things differently. A show at Times Square, this Terminal 5. I'll be honest, I don't know much about them other than, I know it's not cheap to put on an event in Times Square, and so they seem to have something behind them. But you've been in this game a long time. You know about martial arts. Promotions come and go. From what you've seen so far of them, do you feel like they're in it for the long haul? Do you like the experience so far?
Yeah, I feel like being a part of something new is interesting. You never know what's going to happen, but I feel like there's some interest to being a part of something that's, blossoming and being a part of it. But like anything, there's a learning curve, and like it takes time and experience to get good at anything. So I think that's just the case. They've only had a couple of shows. I'm happy to be a part of this show, and hopefully we can grow it and see what happens from here.
You don't strike me the type of person that has this, but I'll ask anyways. Considering what happened in your last fight, is there a chip on your shoulder? Is there like, I'm going to prove you wrong, I'm going to show you what I'm all about mentality going into this fight?
I think that I want to show my skills for sure, and losing is not what I want to show. So yeah, I want to show that I can win. I want to show that I can perform in every platform of fighting, striking, throwing, takedowns, ground, submissions, whatever it is. I want to be able to show it more. And I kind of think that people forget I only have 8 fights, So even though I've been in the game for a while and I've been training for a long time, I'm still getting a lot of experience. After my last fight, after the fight before that, every fight in the UFC has been a great learning, experience. And it takes that. And I kind of took a lot of tough fights, meaning guys that are really good, really soon and was like, okay, I'm just going to fight the toughest guys I can fight. And in my heart, that's what I wanted to do. But, you know, it's still only 8 fights, you know? So I feel like I have a lot more to show, you know? If I had 30 fights under my belt, it would be a different story. But I'm still learning. I'm still getting better. And I'm still only 8 fights in.
I'm not breaking any news to you here by saying this, but obviously there's a lot of attention on you because of your last name and because of what you've done. And I felt
that
like...
ain't news.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I felt like people viewed it as maybe you were the last one for a very long time to be able to have an impact in the UFC. Is that accurate, by the way? Is there anyone coming up behind you? I'm not hearing of anyone, and I know some of your family members have chosen not to fight MMA. They just do jiu-jitsu, and that's totally fine. But it felt like, okay, this was the last shot for some sort of like renaissance for the Gracie family in the UFC, the promotion that they helped build. Is there someone coming up behind you that you know of with your last name from your family lineage that can have an impact as well, or was it really on you to do that?
I never really put that much pressure on myself. And I don't know, the family's big. People might pop up. There's a bunch of people. Sometimes they come up to me. They say they're Gracie.
Sure.
I never even met them before, you know? So I don't really know what's happening, but I'm focused on myself. And
you never viewed it as like it's on me to carry the flag and the torch and
yeah, more like my dad. You know, I wanted to represent my dad
Sure.
specifically and like represent in that sense. But the family's big, and even in this generation, just with jiu-jitsu, I was one of the few guys to really compete. So in my generation, there's me, Hajer, Kira, and a couple other Gracies that competed in just jiu-jitsu specifically. And then to be doing MMA and to have 4 fights in the UFC, I've already done more than any other Gracie in my generation. So
Hollis as well?
Hollis fought, yeah, but he fought once.
Once, yeah.
Yeah, and then Hajer fought once.
Right.
And then, but again, it's not like everybody's doing their part.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's trying to compete and trying to fight who wants to. And I'm not really too worried about what they're doing, or I'm just trying to do what I can do. It just so happens that I kind of took it this far, but.
Did you always expect to take it this far?
Yeah, I expect to.
Was fighting
far.
in MMA always a part of the dream for you, the journey, the life path?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How is your father doing, by the way?
He's good.
He announced about a year or so ago that he was dealing with Parkinson's, right? Is he doing okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he able to train?
He teaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's able to live with it at this point. And how's your relationship with him?
It's okay.
Okay. Does he live in
Florida?
Florida. Okay. Do you have a school in Montana? Like, do you have like
I have like a private gym
Okay.
in Montana, and then I opened up I partnered with one of my black belts who has a gym in LA.
Okay.
So when I'm in LA, I have a gym I train at, and then I was training in San Diego at a friend's gym, and then in Montana I have like a private facility.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were always
I had a big gym.
Yes.
Then it shut down, and I got a small one.
Because of COVID and all that.
No, I had a big gym in Montana.
Oh, in Montana. Okay.
Yeah.
Why'd it get shut down?
It's a long story, but
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You were always a sort of auxiliary member of the Scrap Pack as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still training with those guys? Okay.
Yeah, I was training with them on my way down to LA.
Okay.
Stopped with there, trained with Gilbert, his guys.
Nate around?
Yeah, I'm cool with Nate.
No, but was he?
No, he was in, I don't know where he was at the time, but I was training in San Francisco, and he's more in Stockton.
Okay. Yeah. What about Nick? We haven't heard much from him.
Me neither.
Okay. So maybe not as active these days as far as the training, but Gil, Jake?
Jake is in Vegas.
Right.
And Gil is coaching a bunch of good guys right now. So
Okay.
he has actually a fight card the next day after my fight.
Oh, in San Jose?
Yeah, it's like he has his...
He's doing a thing with Scott Coker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has that going on the next day. So he's training all those guys. Everybody's getting ready for that over there.
So he won't be in your corner. Who will be in your corner?
Coach Tony and maybe Morango.
Okay. So just potentially one person.
1 or 2 or 3.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
I mean, coaches are important, but you know, it's me and they're fighting, you know.
Your opponent. Do you know his name?
Tom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Something with a P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pecciano,
Yeah.
I believe. You know very little about him.
Very little.
Did you even do research on him? There he is, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
I saw him for the first time when we did the face-off, it was funny because,
Oh, there you were.
yeah, when I was there, I didn't know who he was, but I knew he had a shaved head. So I was like looking at all these guys with the shaved head. I was like, is this guy
Which
right
one
here?
is he? Yeah.
But yeah, it is.
Do you know anything about him? Like,
I know a little bit. I seen one of his fights. He's tough. You know, he can definitely fight. But I feel like people fight me differently than they fight everyone else. So I can't put too much attention into the video. And there's nothing like getting in there and seeing what they're going to do to me anyways. So I don't put too much attention into the video. And it's kind of like I grew up in a mentality where it was like no time, no rules, no weight. You don't know who you're going to fight. You know, that's like what the stories I used to hear about my dad and everybody. You would train. There was no YouTube. There was no internet. You would just trained, and then you fought, and then you guys saw who the better fighter was. And that's kind of where I come from. So I don't need all these other things that make somebody great today, you know. A lot of fighters are great because they have a great team. They have a great corner. They have a great... in between rounds, they got water break. They have somebody to tell them exactly what to do. They have all these things in the preparation with it's like scientists, you know? And I didn't grow up with all that kind of like, I grew up with the basics, you know, like you train hard, you work on certain techniques, you do this, and then you go and you fight. So
how would you describe the way in which you grew up in the sense that like you're growing up in California with a very recognizable last name and a very influential family? 10 years old, 11 years old, when you're of that age, do you recognize that you're a part of something special?
Yeah, when it was bring your parent to work, or when your parents would come in to show their work, it was a cool day. You know, my dad would bring a trophy. So
sick.
But yeah,
you must have felt like the coolest kid, right?
I was the coolest kid when my dad came in with the trophy and his
and the toughest guy, right? Like you got some other dads who are like, you know, accountants, not really in shape. Your dad comes in. Yeah,
that was cool.
The first time you stepped on a mat, the first time you put on a gi, how old were you?
I don't remember.
Do you think it was like 2 years old, 1 year old?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you can crawl around, they're playing with you and, you know, pushing your belly, so you grab the finger and you train your grip strength, you know?
Yeah.
But these days, the Gracies had a big advantage because they were training since they were babies. And when they started competing, there was no one else training that much. But now you look around, there's people who've been training since they were kids in so many different ways. So the Gracies don't have that kind of advantage anymore. You know, if anything, it's a disadvantage because my family's the one teaching all these people I'm fighting. So all the people that I fought have people who are in my family coaching somebody who coached them to fight me.
Sure.
So it's like an inflation with fighting for me because I'm getting paid less, I'm fighting tougher guys, and the time is shorter, and all these things that I wasn't trained for, you know? I was trained for a long time, being able to use jiu-jitsu, you know, let the guy get tired, you know, train it forever. You know, no weight, no rules. Those were kind of the what I was hearing when I was growing up. You know, those are the things I needed to be prepared for.
You love the old Pride rules, right?
I think Pride was the best rule set.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't too long to where it was so boring, but you could have a 10-minute. That 10-minute round, I think, is significantly different.
Yeah.
And then, personally, if you could have 2 10-minute rounds, I already think the sport would change for the better.
Why?
Because you get a little tired after 5 minutes and you have to be technical and you still have to be in the game. 5 minutes, you can kind of work your way around it. You know, you can do a little this, do a little that. And then 1 minute left, okay, I'm going to shoot for a takedown, and then boom, the round's over. You do that 3 times, you win the fight. With 10 minutes, you don't really have the time to plan because at 5 minutes, you start getting tired. You can't really plan what you're going to do after the next. And I felt like when I was training for a 10-minute round in Japan, it was a lot harder for people to keep up. And it would become a different fight. So 5 minutes, you can kind of plan around. You can work with it. 10 minutes, it really shows the skill level, and it takes away the athleticism. And I understand that having no time is kind of not a good idea in many ways. But I think if I could pick, it would be, either one 15-minute round, one 10-minute round, and then 1 5, or one, for championship fights, 2 15-minute rounds, or 3 10. I don't know, something a little longer. I think we would see a lot more distinctive, like a lot less fights going to decision.
I heard you say that before one of your fights, you were talking in an interview about your experience in Japan, and you said that they were kind of like playing games with you on weigh-in day, and you felt like they were trying to give you like
they gave me a different scale.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah,
a different scale. So
I don't know everything.
So that you had to cut more weight.
I didn't know for sure. But
yeah.
According to my calculations in my life and my experiences, they gave me a different. They had 3 scales in the locker room.
Yeah.
And then they had 1 scale for me. And then
why?
So then I stepped on the scale, and I'd already weighed myself, and I was on weight. And then I was 1.5 pounds over, and I was like, this is weird. I was already on weight. They're like, no, you got to lose the weight. So then I lose more, still like over 500 grams. So I'm like, well, what are all these other scales doing here? And then whatever. I end up losing all the weight, make weight. And then later that day, I was talking to Gabby Garcia, and she was telling me the same thing. And she was like, oh, yeah, I was there, stepped on the scale, and it was 1.5 pounds over. Then I brought my scale, and I showed them my scale, and then they said, okay, no problem. And I was like, so then I had to just weigh an extra pound and lose an extra 1.5 pounds. And I don't know if it was malicious or what it was, but the fact that I had to lose the weight is a fact.
Yeah.
The extra weight.
I thought maybe it was because of the family history.
I don't know. There's always little tricks and stuff happening around fight time in the fight game. That's boxing. That's any kind of fighting is it's fight business.
But that being said, I feel like so when I was thinking, okay, where may you end up, Rizin to me felt like a natural one because of the history, because of how important your family was to that region, to that, obviously tomorrow. Did you speak to them?
I did.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Obviously, it didn't go well enough.
Well, maybe it was like, hey, get this one out of the way, and we'll see you, next month or New Year's Eve.
I don't know. I think it was positive to some extent, but obviously, it didn't get the deal done.
Right. Did you want to compete there?
I think it was the next best event that was going to happen. I think like as an event, they're probably a really solid event.
They're really enjoying a renaissance, I feel like, that whole region.
They have a lot of good fighters and fights going on. I think that's positive. I also think it's a lot of money to go to Japan and to do your camp out there and to spend extra time out there, and it's just a lot of extra work, and if I'm not getting paid enough money, it doesn't make sense for me to be putting so much extra work. If I was getting paid more, it would make sense, but it didn't make sense at the time.
Okay. Reading between the lines, perhaps they were interested, but only to a certain degree, and you didn't like the offer.
I don't know.
Okay, so that's good. At least there was some interest. You do something great on Friday, that price goes up. Yesterday's price, not today's price, right?
Definitely, the price is only going to go up from now on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love, by the way, when you were a young kid, did you ever go to those Pride events?
Yeah, I went to my dad's fights.
Wow.
Not all of them, but the Pride ones, yeah.
What was that like?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was 50,000 people in the Coliseum. A lot of people. It's crazy.
When you were watching that, were you telling yourself, I'm going to do that one day?
I knew at that point that I was going to be fighting, it's like everything's just put on a platter for you. You just kind of have to follow this direction. So, yeah, training and competing and going and everything was just like, it seemed like that was the path.
It seemed like when you were a kid, it was either that or skateboarding. Those were the two loves, right? Mm-hmm. How close were you to actually saying no to all of this martial arts stuff and actually trying to become a pro skateboarder?
Obviously not close enough, but I think there was some things. I wasn't that good. I was good at skateboarding, but I wasn't as good as like other kids in the other professionals at my age.
Okay.
So I put like an honest opinion, and I was like, I'm probably not as good as I would like to be. So I have a better chance working with my dad and working with, somebody who's the best.
Okay. Did you go through high school?
I did, yeah.
And did you go to college?
No.
Okay. So like at that point, once you're that age, you were a phenom at that point. There was no need for any of that, right?
Yeah, I kind of made a decision after like 12 years old. I was like, okay, I'm going to just start training full time.
Wow. 12 years old. Wow. And what does full time mean as a 12-year-old?
Like every class that was possible. So for me, it was like training from 3:34 till like 9 p.m.
Okay. And then go to school?
Well, I was going to school before, yeah.
Okay, like during the day? Mm-hmm. And are your friends doing it as well, or are you doing like...
Some of them were doing the classes and stuff, but yeah.
But you were like doing it at an intense level. Mm-hmm. Was your dad tough on you? Mm-hmm. In retrospect, do you think too tough?
No, I think he did a good job.
Okay. Do you have children? Mm-mm. Would you want them, if you did, to follow in your footsteps?
I think to a certain extent, yeah.
Okay.
To a certain extent, they have to train. They should train. They should go through certain things. But if they want to compete, it's kind of up to them.
Right. There's an interesting thing right now in the world of jiu-jitsu with these black belts being given out. There's a guy named Derek Moneyberg. Have you heard of this guy?
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No.
I had him on the show recently.
Yeah, I saw clips of it.
Okay. I mean, quite frankly, I think it's a Mickey Mouse black belt that he has. It's a Happy Meal black belt. And I know your friend gave it to him, but just from what I've seen, like, how could you get a black belt without competing? How do you feel about this?
I feel like can I take a water break?
Yeah. Would you want water?
Yeah.
Do you want us to bring you water?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, someone will bring you, because we're live now, so we can't really...
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we can't...
Yes, someone will bring you water. Do you want a Celsius, or do you not like that stuff?
I don't drink that.
No, yeah, I get it. They're just a sponsor of ours. Someone will bring you water.
Cool. I think people can get a black belt without competing. But I think the 3-year thing is kind of, in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense to me. So people can get their black belt. It's hard to tell with jiu-jitsu because there is no rules, like there's no rules that's going to say I can't give you a black belt. No one's going to say, hey, that's not possible. Like in judo, there's rules. So I think there's so many black belts in the world that are not competitive amongst the high-level competitive black belts. And that's even before I got my black belt. When I was a kid growing up, when I was a purple belt, I was already tapping out some black belts. So that's kind of, they're not competitors. They're not training full-time. They have a family. They have kids. I think that's always the case. There is no criteria. And when you train for 20 years or 15 years, you get your black belt. That's just kind of the way jiu-jitsu has been over the years. So in that sense, I don't think that everybody has to be the high-level competitor as a black belt because the rules are already shot for everybody. Right? There is no, okay, if you're black belt, you have to be good rule. So in that sense, you train 10, 15, 20 years, you put your lifetime into, you get your black belt. Like I have many students that after 20 years, I give them a black belt. They deserve it in their own right. They're not going to compete at the Worlds, but they deserve it. But with Derek, I think it's a little bit, that's his name, right, Derek?
Derek, yeah.
It seems like it's a lot of money involved. It seems like it's a lot of promotional stuff involved. It seems like it's a little fishy, but I don't know.
Yeah. They're bringing you the water, by the way. They just told me, so just a couple of seconds away.
Just a couple seconds.
I know, because they're all the way on the other side of the damn building here, so I apologize for that.
No
I just think that you guys work so hard, and I know that there's no like set thing, right? You don't have to go to ADCC, you don't have to go to Mundials, you don't have to win X amount, but it is such a sign of accomplishment for someone to do it in 3.5 years and just be given it when we know that there's money involved feels like it takes away from the purity of it all, from the prestige, from the honor.
Yeah, I think when you make it that short and you put that much money around.
Here he is.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, GC.
I think when you put that much money involved and you have that much kind of marketing behind it, I think everybody can get weird about it. And then he's like, talking shit about how he did it and how other people are not doing it. I think that's why people rub him the wrong way. If he never said anything, I don't think anybody would care,
Did you ever ask Jake about this?
No.
No.
He's just trying to promote himself off of it, which I think is what makes people feel weird. But I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I heard you say that so you've given out black belts too, right?
Yeah, I've given out quite a few black belts. Yeah,
And
not all of them are competitors.
Right, some based on attendance.
It's not attendance. It's you put 20 years of training
Sure.
and you get a black belt. You know.
Has there ever been a time in retrospect where you're like, maybe that guy didn't deserve
There's
it?
only one guy I regret ever giving a belt to.
Okay.
But he didn't complete what I asked him to complete.
Is he a known person or just?
No, he's not.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't. We had an agreement that he was gonna do a certain thing and he didn't do it, and then I regret giving him that black belt. But that's only one, and I've given probably 20 or 30 black belts out.
Okay. Is there a system that you have? Like, do you have a sort of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think in general, when you can train jiu-jitsu and learn how to use your energy properly and not gas yourself out and be aware of all the positions, I think that's a huge thing to do, you know? When you can not gas out in 10 minutes, when you can train for all the positions and have a basic understanding of everything, that's pretty much, you know, it takes at least 10 years to get that.
These days, do you do more gi or no gi?
I do both.
Both.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, like what you like doing more? Probably when you're preparing for MMA, it's more no gi, right? Yeah.
But I like the gi.
Okay. How?
And the people I train with, they don't like hold my sleeves forever and just like stomp me out. So I created an environment where people are actually try to beat each other instead of sweep each other.
You were a teenager when you got your black belt, right?
I was 19, yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, again, to think that someone in their 40s would get it after 3.5 years, I don't have a black belt, obviously. I would never even dare to dream to have one at this point in my life because I haven't put in the time. So it feels like it cheapens everyone else's, but maybe I'm looking too into it.
I mean, even before this guy got his black belt, there was a lot of people getting black belts that I didn't agree with.
Okay.
And I thought in my head, I was like, oh man, maybe I should just give all my students black belts and just cause an inflation in the whole game.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I never did that and I wouldn't do that, but that's kind of like what my grandfather was wearing a blue belt. You know, when he got to his later years of life, he was wearing a blue belt and he was like, oh yeah, these guys are all wearing red belts. They don't deserve the red belt. I'm going to wear a blue belt because, you know, these guys. So it just goes to show it's not just now that people have been wearing belts that they don't deserve or that there is this doubt. And really what matters is your skills and your training, and that's what matters. The belts help some here and there, and it shows some people some sort of achievement, but really what matters is when you go to train, what's happening? How are you learning? How are you getting better? What are you doing? Are you giving up? Are you getting tapped? Are you doing this? Are you getting out? Those things are what really matters. And I really just stopped putting too much attention into the belt in general. So much to where there was a time in my gym where I didn't give anybody belts. I just was too worried about my training and my competition and my life. And so people would come up to me, oh, but this guy needs to be training. And then after running a business, you're like, okay, fine, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give these guys the belts. But there was a solid chunk of my life where I was not giving anybody belts, not because I didn't care or didn't look, but I was so focused on my training, and
right.
No one was like, wow. I'm like, whoa, this guy is so impressive. I need to give you a belt, you know, because I was not even impressed with myself. So yeah, that's the way. Belts is belts.
You're
different than in judo. In judo, if you get every degree means something. You know, you have to achieve certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Every degree is a accomplishment.
When fighters get it after a UFC fight, a black belt,
mm-hmm.
Is that funny to you?
I don't know. I don't really think about it too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have memories of your grandfather?
I do, yeah.
Is there anything special that comes to mind?
He was a fierce, you know. Till the day he died, he was a very fierce man, you know. Warrior till the day he died, ready for anything. Competitive.
Intimidating to be around?
Yeah, for sure. Extremely.
Really?
Yeah.
So like could you talk to him and
I could, yeah. But like other people sometimes would get yelled. Everybody was getting yelled at.
Really? Okay. Like would he be at your house and you could just chill with him, or was it a different type of presence that he had?
He had a solid presence.
Yeah.
But you could chill with him. For
Okay. And was it always just, I feel like the way I view him, and this is with the utmost respect, is sort of like the way we view like Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja, where or Yoda, like he's always wise and sage and giving you advice. That's the way we view him. I've never met him, obviously, never had the pleasure. Was he like that as well? Was he always trying to teach you things, or was it just like any other grandfather where he's just like around?
No, he's definitely trying to teach you, and everything he says is the law, for sure.
The law? Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Like he's right about everything.
Okay.
What he's saying is what it is.
Right. You know that thing that you do with your stomach? Who taught you that? Was it your dad or grandfather?
My dad.
Your dad. And you still do it?
Yeah.
And can I ask you, what is the benefit here? We're showing a video of you doing it. When is this from? How?
This is like right when I got to LA.
Okay. And why do you say don't try this at home?
Because you could fuck your stomach up.
You can.
You can like mess up your intestines, or you can have an issue. I don't know what happened with Mikey Mushienshi, but he fucked his shit up and he went to the hospital, almost died.
Damn.
So I don't know.
What is the benefit of this?
I hit up Mikey on Instagram to see what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Because he was saying he was doing that, and then he went to the hospital and he almost died. He ripped his lung.
Jeez.
So I texted him, or I sent him a message. He never got back to me.
He should have.
He should have.
Yes.
But I think I got lost in his messages. But the thing that I do is I take my air out. So I have no air in my stomach, and then I'm moving my diaphragm. So I'm guessing, I don't know, I would like to ask him, but I'm guessing he had air in his stomach and he was moving it around, and then that's when you can probably cause some problems. So anything like that with your stomach and your intestines, if you don't have an understanding of what you're doing or know how to build up to it, you can hurt yourself. I mean, I've seen people hurt themselves doing really small things. So I say don't try that at home so you don't sue me if you try to
right.
You know, because you can start slow and you can build yourself up, and it is a simple thing, but you can, obviously with Mikey, I'm curious, Mikey, tell me what happened with you, why you got your ribs sliced.
He'll see this, and he'll respond.
Cool.
Get in those DMs, right back to Rio Kid.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was because he had air in his lungs.
Okay.
Because it's never happened to me. I've never had any issues, but I'm also sensitive. I'm not going to push something if it hurts too much.
Sure. Now, do you do this every day?
Yeah.
Wow. Like morning, before training?
Usually around training.
Okay.
After training.
And how long does it last?
Or if I'm in the sauna, 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
And when your dad's teaching this to you, as a kid, you could mess it up too, right? Did you ever?
He never gave me the chance to mess it up.
Okay. Wow.
He never said that there was a mess up. But he was very clear that you move through your diaphragm, right? So the whole thing is you don't breathe through your chest, right? When people get panicked, they breathe here, and that's only filling up a part of their lungs. When you breathe through your diaphragm, you're filling up all your lungs. So when you start, you lay down, and you just move your belly, right? You don't move this. And it starts like that. And then you start to move like then you start to suck. The sucking up the stomach in and moving it around is almost like a trick. Like it's definitely moving stuff around and loosening up your intestines, but that's not the heart of it. The heart of it is just moving like that's the heart of what matters.
Okay.
The moving it around is just kind of like it's like a dance trick,
Do you teach this to your students?
I teach the first part.
Okay.
What I just said, basically just breathing out through your diaphragm, breathing in through your belly, not breathing in through your chest. The rest, then maybe depending on who it is,
Okay. It's not something you're going to do in a big class or something like that.
Yeah, not really.
I was looking at an old interview that you did with Be Real in a car. You know this interview? It's like from like 8-9 years ago. And I kind of got lost in the details, but you talked about a friend of yours who saved your life. You said that you were choking on your throw up.
Yeah.
Why were you? What happened?
I don't know what happened to this day. But that guy was in the car that day.
He's in the back, right?
Yeah, he passed away a few years later.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, it was just eating breakfast, coffee and stuff, and then I started getting dizzy, so I went outside and then passed out, and then saw like my whole life, kind of, not my whole life, but parts of my life pass in front of my face in random little clips. And then I saw the white light, and then I was like, oh shit, that's the white light. Don't go to the white light. You know, like I kind of got like a glimpse of that's not where I want to go. And then I woke up and my friend was behind me and he was been pumping my chest and there was puke all over my jacket and everything. And I took off my jacket, I opened my jacket, and it was like a huge steam ball just came up.
Whoa.
And yeah.
What happened? Like, why do you think that happened? No idea. Till this day.
I went to a doctor and he said, don't worry about it.
What? What?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you probably nothing to worry about.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I mean, I think there was it was right after one of my fights, so maybe I was drinking, maybe I was not sleeping, maybe, you know,
right.
too much coffee, maybe, I don't know.
Has anything like that happened again?
Not like that.
But close?
No.
Okay. Nothing remotely close.
No.
You think you, like, if you were alone?
Yeah, I'd be dead.
Dead? Because you would have choked on your vomit?
Yeah,
Oh.
when he came out, he told me that I was stuck on the chair with like a little bit of vomit.
Damn.
Like choking.
Damn.
And I was stuck, and then he came out and he said he was pumping my chest for like over a minute and he's a big, strong dude, and he finally got it out. And as soon as he got it out, I was breathing again.
Golly. And can I ask what happened to him?
He died of fentanyl.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was he a good friend of yours?
Great friend.
Okay. Like, saved your life.
Yeah.
How did that?
After that, I bought all of his dinners and everything. I could pay for years, you know? He was all expenses paid with Merv.
Man. You're someone who cares a lot about diet and health and whatnot, right? Like, you used to be a pescatarian. Are you still a pescatarian?
No.
What are you?
I stopped eating. I started eating meat.
Okay.
Right around the pandemic time.
Okay. And now?
Meat.
Meat.
Yeah, just good meat, you know, but I eat meat. I avoid like sugar and try to eat everything organic. But yeah, for the most part, like I avoid processed foods, but I eat meat, seafood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're a big believer, like, you know, science and stuff like that. You were outspoken to a degree about COVID and everything like that. I think you would probably feel now that you made the right choices, right?
Do you mean like for what part?
Well, because I remember when you took a bit of a hiatus from fighting, right? I think there was talk that you didn't want to kind of partake in that world. You wanted to wait for the storm to pass, and then when things were a little bit normal, then you can resume your career, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't think anybody did.
Yeah.
I think everything was locked down for so long. It was really difficult for me to get motivated in that lockdown time.
Yeah.
So that was at least 2 years where it was kind of really locked down. And after that, it started opening up. I was like, okay, now we can start training again. But I honestly didn't know if it was ever going to go back. You know, I moved to Montana with the idea that it was probably never going to go back the same. You know, I didn't think they were going to invest so much money into locking everything down for so long and then open everything up. So once everything opened up again, you know, it opens up the idea to travel, to go back to a city. But I didn't know what was going to happen.
It's crazy to look back at that time.
Yeah, those 2 years were really, it's almost like
A blur now.
it's a blur, and it's crazy that we are all just pretending like it never happened, you know? We all just pretend like we live in a city, everything's back to normal, and we're just like, wow, we forget that like a few years ago, everything was just...
Do you feel like everything's back to normal?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there was once a time where this city was completely shut down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wild. Can I ask you a silly question?
Sure.
Do you still feel like the world is flat?
I really don't give a shit, really, to be honest.
That comes up a lot with you.
Yeah, it comes up, but, you know, I really don't care, you know? Like, it doesn't make no difference in my mind.
I'm just curious. I don't think less of you if you think that way or more. I'm not that type of person. I like interesting people, and that's why I was so excited to talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't put too much attention. I put a lot of attention at a certain time in my life because there was a lot of things that were interesting to me. And Yeah, I really don't care anymore.
At this point, you're just kind of a wiser, older man who just wants to be left alone, I feel like. Do your thing.
Well, you can't be
compete.
left alone. Life doesn't let you be alone. No matter what you do.
Well, I guess if you do what you do for a living, you have to kind of, if you were a guy who wasn't a prize fighter, if you will, you could be left alone, right? You'd be somewhere in Montana.
You still never get left alone. Even in Montana, in the middle of the mountains, you still find a way to someone to come and poke you for something.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do you feel, though, you're pretty much at peace now? Like, do you feel like life is good?
Life is good, yeah. I'm
happy?
really happy about being healthy and ready to fight, you know?
Okay.
So training camp, no injuries. I'm healthy. I'm ready to go.
I understand this might be a personal. We're gonna let you go in a minute, so don't worry. But I know your brother passed while living in New York many years ago. When you come here, does this city have bad feelings for you? Do you think of that?
I think earlier in my life, yeah, but not now.
Okay.
You know, I think, yeah.
There's no connection to that.
There's a connection, but I spent so long not coming to New York, and then when I came to New York for Nate's fight with Masvidal, I had such a good experience that whole week after the fight, before the fight. Outside of the loss was horrible, but we had a great time, and you know, I don't have any bad feelings towards New York. I like it. You know, it's a cool city. There's a lot of good food, good people. It's a good mix. There is obviously everything. There's good and bad about every city. You know, there's advantages and disadvantages, and I like to kind of look at that. You know.
Was that your first time in New York?
In a long, long time. For Nate's fight, I hadn't been there since probably a little teenager, maybe.
So since he,
probably.
Wow, that was I think the fight was in 2019, and I think he passed in 2000, right? Mm-hmm. So wow, that must have been.
Growing up, it was like a little bit of hostility towards New York.
Yeah,
but I'm over it.
That's gone.
Yeah, my dad didn't like listening to East Coast rappers for a long time.
For that reason.
Yeah, but I always listened to it.
So you're more of a West Coast guy, anyway. I'm
West Coast, but I listen to East Coast rap too.
More Tupac than Biggie.
But they're both good.
Right. Purge on Friday. We walking out to that or no?
I don't know. I haven't even thought about it, really.
You haven't thought about it? They haven't asked you?
They have. They've been bugging me trying to get a song, but I've been kind of trying to do other things.
Like what?
Like find a song to plays, you know.
Is it tough in New York to find those things?
I just had to find everything.
Okay. And when you're working for
it takes a little time to do shit on your own.
When you're working for like an upstart promotion, when you're fighting for one, it's not quite as well oiled as the UFC, right? Mm-hmm. Are you experiencing that to a degree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's Friday. It's this Friday, December 12th, Terminal 5 in New York City. There it is. The return of Ice Cream Kron. Are we still going with that?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I think it's one of the great nicknames.
Kron Gracie, whatever.
I think it's one of the great nicknames in the history of combat sports.
At this point, they call me whatever they want.
Nah, man. You're the man. People love you. Yeah, look at that. People are excited about this.
I appreciate it.
I feel the excitement. They were excited that you were coming on today. I feel like there was a lot of people like, holy shit, Kron Gracie, here he is.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best. Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
I'm sorry for putting you through the torture of a 1 hour conversation.
No, this is great. It's been good.
But I enjoyed it very much and really excited about you being back and looking forward to seeing what you're going to do on Friday and beyond. So all the best to you. Good luck. There he is, the great Kron Gracie in action this Friday. VFL, their third show. They're doing big things. If you're in New York City, go to AXS.com to buy tickets. Terminal 5, beautiful venue. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's where you did the face-off, right? Pretty cool spot, right?
Nice.
Yeah, cool spot. So it's this Friday, December 12th. Go check it out. We'll say goodbye to Kron. Be back with Caroline Dubois, the newest member of MVP. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up. Leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.